Happy New Year. For those of you from the Poindexter Lounge that are on the East Coast, you are already there. You got there about 32 minutes ago. Welcome to 2023. For the rest of us on the West Coast of the United States and on the Western time zone, we got just under 2.5 hours before we wrap up 2022 and we creep and crawl into 2023. Woo! The last two New Year's Eves have been, different than the previous ones that I spent on planet Earth. I mean, post COVID, every New Year's different right now, and I think, just everything that's been going on from murder hornets all the way up to elections and war in Europe. Literally, we're living in a cartoon right now. So, just to make it another year is no given. But congratulations for everybody who made it or is about to make it to 2023. And like I said, this is I am live from the Sci-Fi Center. Usually, as somebody who's been in Vegas for as long as I've been in Vegas, I know better than to be anything, west of Las Vegas Boulevard this time during New Year's Eve. But in previous years, I didn't have a show that went overnight, and I had a lot of stuff going on today. So this is why the show is taking place from here. I'm on the other side of the DMZ right now. So what happens is every New Year's Eve at 6:30, the entire Las Vegas Strip and some of the surrounding areas are shut down. So if you're on the east side, it's hard to get from east to west because you're losing those major arteries. After the ball drops, they go ahead and they open things back up. But so like right after midnight, I'll probably get out of here. But what I will do is once Thade and them get here, if he is able to make it today, they were watching Spartacus. But I'm going to turn the show there, and I'm going to go through my phone, and I'm going to step out. The Sci-Fi Center is located uniquely to where you can see both ends of the strip. So I'm going to go out and walk out, and we're going to, as the ball drops, we're going to see the fireworks show that they put on here is like none other I've seen. I've been all over the world and seen New Year's Eve fireworks. The ones they put millions and millions of dollars into the fireworks display here, and it's all on top of the hotels. And where we're positioned, I don't know if I've shown you guys this picture before, but I can see the stratosphere from my front door. But when I walk around the upper deck of the plaza, I can see all of Las Vegas Boulevard, and I'm going to show you guys that at midnight. So as usual, I am here to not only shepherd you from Saturday to Sunday, but literally from one year to the next. I am here to bring you across the bridge from 2022 into what I hope to be a splendid 2023. Let's go ahead and say hi to the chat because I know I've gone a little bit long. James Gunn is pushing 60. I think he has the energy to be running a 10-year DC plan. Do you think he'll want his contract renewed after the 4 years? It all depends on what's going on in the 4 years. I mean, if things are going well in the 4 years, and of course, I think all involved will want him to re-up. But if things go, like they have gone with, some of these things taking traction, it all depends on if the shareholders are like, you know what, we like where this is going. You got more time. Hopefully, if he does embark on this, what he does takes hold a little bit faster than a lot of these other ones have done. Like I said, it takes years for people to make that connection and, to loosen their grip on their versions of these characters to be able to accept anybody's new version, no matter who it is and how well it's done. So hopefully that for him that happens within the 4 years. If not, I hope the people that are putting down the money can at least see that, hey, this may be going somewhere. Let's stick in it for the long term. So it may not have to do much to do with his age and his energy because I didn't realize. I mean, he's 57 years old, 56, 57. He's in great conditions. Got a hot wife. I mean, he's got everything going for him. No stress. Yeah, he has stress running DC films. Not like the kind of stress that like an everyman would deal with, trying to pay bills and raise a bunch of kids and stuff like that. So I wish him well in that regard. Wishing you a great 23 too as well, Hal Jordan. Thank you, Chappie. Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to you, Anthony Beltre. Chappie, plus I'd love to hear what was your movie theater experience when you saw Jaws CD. It was bullshit, actually, and not because of theater. I was in LA at the time, Southern California. That's where I'm from. That's where I grew up, and we always went to the movies. That's one thing that the Powell family did. when we were kids is we went to the movies. We went once a week. We went to the movies unless there was nothing coming out, and that was very rare. And this time it happened to be Jaws 3. Jaws 3 is the worst 3D movie ever made. Jaws 3 is the worst 3D movie ever made. And keep in mind, Jaws 3, if I can recall, came out either a year later or in the same year as Friday the 13th Part 3 in 3D, which is one of the best horror movies made, period. And it's one of the best 3D movies. Those two movies were released in a year of each other. And if you watch them, you can't even tell they're from the same planet. The story was stupid. But the 3D, I mean, you can have a crappy story. If it's a 3D movie, you're going to see stuff pop out. And there was other 3D movies of the era. Parasite was another 1980s movie where they made, sure you could go on TV. I remember Elvira did House of Wax with Vincent Price, and you could go to 7-Eleven and get the 3D glasses. And if you ever Google 3D TV by Elvira, it's the most hilarious video she made to promo it. Even that was better than Jaws 3. So the theater experience was okay. It was just another movie we went to go see, but quality-wise, Jaws 3 is the worst 3D movie ever made. One of the worst movies ever made. It's basically like Mystery Science 3000 level. All right. Happy New Year to you, Perez. Happy New Year to you, Andrew Casali. William, going live from a Vegas strip club. Is there a strip club called Shazam? How you know what? I liked you more before you started cracking jokes. No, I don't have to, like I said, you're right. I don't leave the center very often unless it's to go home. And I don't have to. Like I said, this is one of the coolest places about my location. It is right in the middle of Las Vegas. The north end of the strip is here. The south end is right here. I'm in the middle of all of it. And that's where most of my revenue comes from. 73% of my revenue comes from tourists. So, and this is why you'll see why when I go outside and we go live. I might bring on some people later on, depending on how the show goes, depending on who comes in and so far. It's like, because I'm going to have to do something. Like I said, I'm going to have to turn over the show. Either that or I'm going to have to leave you guys here and go on another screen, and because I want to take my phone out so that you guys can see, the fireworks as they go on. Happy New Year's, Goblin. I may. Like I said, we're going to see how this show goes. I don't have a lot planned for this show. I just want to see how things flow in. And then, like I said, once I get to, get on for about 15 or so minutes, see what time they're going to come in. Then I will I might let you guys in. Yeah, like I said, when I first got here, my first New Year's Eve here was in 1993. I just got off the plane from Redstone Arsenal, Alabama. I had just gotten done with my AIT training for the Army, and I got here on December 21st, 1993. So, I mean, I spent, my first New Year's here getting acclimated. That was my first time in Vegas for New Year's, but it was my first time living here in Vegas for 2 years. Hi, Aaron. How are you doing? I'm seeing the flash from Michael. Yeah, I mean, some people are. I just, I think it's a risky strategy. I mean, for somebody like me, even somebody like I am the target audience for Michael Keaton's Batman. I am who they were aiming at in 1989 for Michael Keaton's Batman. And he doesn't have the kind of relevance for me. Nothing against his Batman, but it's not 1989. And we've had other Batman that have shaped the trajectory of what Batman is perceived. I don't know if that Batman fits amongst all of this, but and I just hope that they're not banking all their success of this movie on a Batman that hasn't been relevant for 30 years. 30 years. All right. If you're a millennial, you were either a toddler. I mean, when millennial means you were born in 1980? So maybe 9-10 years old. But for that generation that's coming after that, I mean, this Batman is like literally folklore to you. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it'll work out. But, I don't mind seeing Keaton's Batman in there. But like I said, that from what Andy Muschietti said, it's a Flash movie. So those Batmen are in there, but it's a Flash movie. And I hope he sticks to that. So let's see. They're already shooting fireworks out. We got $8 million worth of fireworks that are about to get launched to where you can see them anywhere in the city for free. And we got clowns that are lighting up stuff left over from 4th of July. It never fails. Can you believe that there wouldn't be a JL movie if WB didn't greenlight it before BBS came out? Imagine the position WB would be in if there was no J or that. They did a lot of stupid shit. I mean, like I said, we can go over and over and over a lot of the stupid stuff. They second guessed. Listen, the time to have those questions about the creator you put in charge was before you hired him, not as he's laying out all these movies and laying out these groundwork for a 5-movie story arc. The best thing that they could have done is let him put out his 5 movies and take it from there. Disrupting what was one of the major cogs in that story was stupid. It was if they would have just let it happen, they would have made money. They were making money, and his story arc would have been over. And you could have used that. Hey, you know what? I remember when you guys we talked to you, Zach. You had a 5-movie arc. There's your 5th movie, and they could have taken it from there. And I don't think anybody would have had an issue. But it was the disruption that screwed it up for them. So, like I said, those people are gone. So didn't Jaws 3 have Leah Thompson and Marty McFly? Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, it had a whole bunch of other stupid shit in it, like a plastic-looking shark, a shark that's way too big to be a great yark or great white. Horrible effects, horrible 3D effects, even for 1983. It was bad for 1983. And like I said, there were so many other great 3D movies that were being released in that era. Like I said, watch Friday the 13th Part 3 in 3D side by side with Jaws 3 in 3D. It's embarrassing that one of those movies exists, taking the Jaws name and just basically turning it into a Muppet show. It was horrible. Ooh. How you doing, Michelle? How's the baby coming along? JL was supposed to be 2 parts originally. Yeah, parts 2 and 3. Yep. Happy New Year's, Anchorman. Jar CD is definitely a guilty pleasure, but that shot with the shark pop up always looks well. And the one where he's headed towards you when he breaks through the glass, and it's so horrible, and then he just stops. The shark, and when you're watching it in the theater, he not only stops, he just stops and it just sits there, and we're like, that wasn't scary. We booed. I remember people booing Jaws 3 in 3D. It was just an absolutely abysmal movie. And like I said, it gets worse with time. Every time I think about that movie, it gets worse. All right, Darth Long probably set this New Year's. Am I missing something there? I do fear that they're going to give us a cheap Superman in a JL movie. It would be in their benefit not to do so. Superman is a character that comes with high expectations. You cannot go low with Superman. You don't see the thing about it is people think you can do a low budget Superman. You don't just that option's not on the table for you. You can do it, but you'll pay the price one way or another. You're either going to pay the price to do it right, or you're going to pay the price of embarrassment when people see it, and they compare it to all these other superhero movies that are being made, including ones that DC has made. It's just not going to fly. So I would encourage them not to go the pick and save route when it comes to Superman. Hold on, I got a possible guest that's looking in. No, I'm still waiting for them. Okay, so yeah, no, a cheap Superman and a cheap that leads us to another reboot and another DC head. That's what'll happen there? All right, no problem, man. You're the best too. Even though you've been cheating on me, I mean, Enosh threw your bone, and you just forgot about old William. How you doing, Keely Chow? Just trying to salvage what's left of 2022 and realizing that as weird a year as it's been, I made it through this year relatively unscathed. I mean, a year ago, I didn't have any of this. I mean, I was watching Poindexter Lounge, but I don't believe I was actively engaged in the shows as much as I was. I definitely didn't have my own show at this point. Um, that literally changed the way I'm spending New Year's Eve. I did not want to do New Year's Eve, you know, just at the house, which is where I'm usually at because it's cold out here. I'm not a cold weather bird. Um, the fireworks in general, as someone who's been around things that exploding at one time, it kind of makes you like go like this, even though, like if I hear something that sounds like a gun, I legit hit the ground. On instinct, I hit the ground. People, I've done it. I've been in the store with customers. Some idiot will crack off a couple of M80s. I'm on the ground because that's that's the instinct. It's like you don't think of where it's coming from. You don't know where it's coming from. Just get to the ground. And if you're near me, I just pull you down. So when they do these fireworks, I'm usually like, oh, I just, I put on my headphones and and watch TV or watch a marathon. But this year was a little bit different. This year I felt like being a tourist, and I thought it would be kind of cool this year to literally be able to take the phone and get the camera and walk around as these fireworks are going on. I mean, for those of you who've been in Vegas for New Year's Eve, is really cool. Like I said, and I live in a place where I can stand up on my roof and watch it, but that wouldn't have been fun. So, yeah, this year, 2022, like I said, a lot of weird shit happened, but a lot of really cool things happened, and we're still here in good health. So I'm okay with 2023 coming on. Hope it's better. Huntsville, Alabama. Hold on, wait. Who's from Huntsville, Alabama? See, I messed up the thing, so I can't see it. Huntsville, Alabama is where I did AIT. Yeah, Huntsville, Alabama is where Redstone Arsenal was. Let's see, where was that? Oh yeah, so you're right there. You know where I'm talking about. I loved Huntsville, Alabama for the time I was there. I was only there for 3 months, but I loved it. They had the little university club that we used to go to. I was all over Huntsville, Alabama. I mean, like I said, I was still an Army private at the time, so we couldn't do too much. But I have fond memories of Huntsville, Alabama. I really do, especially the hell that was Fort Sill, Oklahoma, which is where I did basic training, where they basically squeeze you like a fruit just to get everything out of you, and then you go into what we called it then was phase 5. So you had a lot more freedom. So maybe it was just because we had a lot more freedom, we weren't in a cage anymore. But I had a good time at a Redstone Arsenal, man, and I learned a lot. I'm from Los Angeles, so us city folk growing up in LA, all we see from the South is on the news and on TV. As a person of color, I was kind of worried because I had grown up on the Air Force Base and we were all mixed together. We didn't have, and everything I'd seen from the South. I'm like, oh, and then you get there, you meet people and you make friends. The locals were great. I mean, the Army finds a way to put you all over the South, and a lot of those stereotypes going away. So yeah, I love Huntsville, Alabama. I wonder where my partner in crime is so that we can double team William and make him watch Notebook. Nope, no romantic interludes for me tonight or any other night. New Year's must be lit. Yeah, there's like 400,000 people here. The streets are shut down. So right here from this end of town, it's dead because everybody but me has gone to the ends of town because of what the traffic does. But I have a lot to do on Saturday. Saturdays is my biggest day. We still had people, all the tourists were down here, people in the hotels. The streets being shut down didn't mean anything to them because they were coming down anyway. They're already on Las Vegas Boulevard. So we had a lot of tourist business today. So I stayed open. All right. Dude told me before I returned to Spider-Man and No Way Home since 2007, and we have 3 Spider-Man since then. Yeah, okay. I don't know if you're comparing that to what Michael Keaton's situation is, because the thing about Michael Keaton is you're talking about what's up, man?
Hey, Father Time, I got Baby New Year here to replace you.
How much eggnog have you had?
None. I have not I've not drank a thing tonight. Just coffee. But
same
I I had to bug you on your last stream of the year. You know, we're here in the future with the future version.
Yeah, time travel is great, isn't it?
It is. Oh, what's that?
Who's that? Your nephew or what is that?
No, this is my little buddy.
Hi.
You say hi, William. You see that guy right there? That's William.
Happy babies. Look at that.
Yes. This is
Now,
my.
now look, he's getting tired. Look at him. He's starting to get that midnight.
This is my buddy Zed. We call him Zed.
Hi, Zed.
You see? He said hi to you.
He's like, I'm done with these grown-ups.
I know. Hey, give you a hard time, and thank you, Bud, for all your contributions this year, man, to Poindexter Lounge and just for being my friend. Appreciate you.
No problem, man. Same here. Happy New Year. Tell
All
everybody in the house Happy New Year.
All right. Happy New Year.
All right, man.
God, William, Happy New Year. Happy New Year, old man.
Yeah, whatever.
Everybody tell William Happy New Year.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year to you guys, too.
All right, man. Hey, enjoy the fireworks. Enjoy your night. And I can't wait to one day hang out with you out there in person one day.
All right. I'll see you next year.
All right, buddy. See you next year. Bye.
All right.
I almost ended your stream. I swear to God, I almost hit the end button. I'm on my phone, and I almost hit the end button.
That's my nightmare doing it from here. Trust me.
Dude, oh, my gosh. I almost did it. I'm holding the baby. Hold on. Take the baby. All right. Just want to make sure I do this right. All right, guys. See you later.
All right. All right, just making sure he didn't end us there. Okay, so back to your question there. To Tom McGrath, yeah, we're all of those. If you go from the last 20 years, we're talking 20 years that all of those Spider-Man took place. We're literally talking 30 some odd years since Michael Keaton's Batman's been seen. I mean, there's a chance that if you're of a certain age, you saw all of those recently within your adult and childhood. I don't think it's going to be the same for Michael Keaton, but who knows? I could be wrong. That's good and pray for you and family. Okay, you guys are from the north there. How you doing, Daniel Martin? Happy New Year. Just rolling through these. Dune. Which sci-fi movie am I anticipating most is Dune. I just have a feeling Dune's going to be the best movie of the year. If it's anything like the original, I hate Dune as an IP, as a property. I think it's boring. I think it's long. I think it's over descriptive. I just think it's everything that could put me to sleep. Yet somehow, some way, Denis Villeneuve turned that, which had bored me most of my life, into something I was gripping. It was a beautiful movie. The scenery, I've never seen scenery like that before. The sound, if you saw it in IMAX or if you saw it with the Dolby Surround, the way the engine, it shook the theater. The score was great. I mean, like I said, everything. If it hadn't been a Denis Villeneuve movie, I wouldn't have even seen it, to be honest with you, because Dune, just thought of Dune puts me to sleep, but not this time. So he's done wonders with that movie. I thought he should have at least been nominated for that one. I think he'll get, like I said, if it keeps, it's hard to tell in the future because we got almost a year before it comes out. But if it's going on the same road as the first one did, that's going to be one of the best movies in a long time. After that, science fiction wise, there's really not much science fiction wise. I mean, we've got the pop culture stuff. I am looking forward. The only Marvel movie I'm looking forward to is Ant-Man Quantumania. Not because I enjoyed that. I was over the top with Ant-Man 1 and 2, but because I loved Kang. Growing up in an early comic book collector, Kang, Immortus, the Scarlet Centurion, Ramatut, all these characters were Immortus. All these characters were intriguing because they were all the same guy, and he would be fighting these battles. These heroes would be fighting this guy at different points in his life, and vice versa. And it was just so intriguing how you had to write those stories without being confused. That's the only Marvel MCU movie I'm looking forward to this year. And then the second movie that's right behind Dune is going to be Spider-Man into Across the Spider-Verse, which is Into the Spider-Verse is the best Spider-Man movie, period, for me, animated or live action. So everything that I've seen from it so far, it looks great, and it looks like we're going to make another jump into Miles Morales' character. So those are the two I'd have to say. honestly, how can you make a Batman movie without him killing anyone? Since he doesn't have any superpowers, it ain't like the comics and the animated series where he can dodge bullets and knock somebody out. As you guys know, if you spent more than 10 minutes on anything that I've been on in regards to YouTube or Poindexter Lounge or Sci-Fi Center Live, I cannot stand Batman the animated series. If that is your Batman, that is fine. I'm not knocking you for that. That is, everybody's has their own opinion. I have a sore spot in my ass for Batman the animated series because I think it put out a perception of Batman that just wasn't consistent or true to the lineage that was started from Bob Kane all the way up through Frank Miller, all the way up John Byrne, everybody else. Everybody else who accepted a Batman project knew that this is where we needed to be in order for me to be successful. And when they veered from that path, that's when Batman titles became Birdcage Thriller. All right. So, yeah, the cartoon put out an impression of Batman that, in my opinion, was non existent. They had to because they were putting it in front of kids. Batman isn't for kids. All right. Batman is an instrument of terror that is unleashed upon the crime worthy of Gotham. All right. When you see that and that's why the Batman, even though Robert Pattinson isn't my favorite individual Batman, he's good enough. But the Batman is my favorite overall movie because they nail that. Batman is an instrument of terror. All right. He cast a shadow of horror over that entire city to the point where they cannot function properly, just knowing that he may be there. Not that he's there, he may be there. That is what Batman is. That fucking cartoon to me is not Batman. It's a cool cartoon for what it is, but when you put Batman on it, that ain't it for me. All right. Now, the stuff that they've done later on, in the last 10, 15 years, as far as anime stuff, that's more consistent because literally they adapted it from the source material. But Batman, the animated series, even as I was watching it as a teenager, made me want to vomit in my mouth. I could not stand how Batman was portrayed there. And I know a lot of people did a lot of great work. Mark Hamill, they did great work on Joker, and Kevin Conroy, rest in peace. But for me, judging it as far as what Batman was supposed to be according to the people who created him and the people who developed him over the 60 to 70 years leading up to that cartoon, no. Batman the animated series to me is an affront to Batman. So yeah, I have issues there, and this is one of the reasons why. Yeah, he's in there dodging bullets. He's in there, when he confronts a criminal in the Gotham that I grew up either watching or reading, and he beats the hell out of that fool. He does exactly what you see Robert Pattinson. There was no reason for Robert Pattinson to give that fool an extra 6 or 7 whacks to the head, but no reason at all. But he just did because that's who Batman is. And when he makes that statement that I can't be everywhere, but they don't know where I am. That's that terror that he casts. And at no point in time in that cheesy ass series that I feel the terror and the horror that Batman unleashes upon the city, whether he's standing and around the corner or whether he's in his mansion. When that sun goes down and that sign goes up, you saw how those criminals reacted. The animated series was for kids. You just couldn't do it. There was just too many limitations for a kids show. No matter how advanced and upper tier kids show it was still a kids show. It wasn't the Batman that was in the comics. It wasn't the Batman that you saw in the Batman. It wasn't the Batman that you saw Ben Affleck play. And like I said, everybody has their different interpretations of Batman, but there's always been one consistent thing. Everybody who can add things to it and make their own way, interpretation to it, but they all stuck to the spirit of Batman. And to me, Batman the animated series is not the spirit of Batman. It's a cool show, cool cartoon, but when you slap Batman on it, that's where you lose me. I know I'm probably going to catch a lot of hell for that. I don't care. Yeah, Vegas is pretty crazy. Like I said, pretty tame. Where I'm at right now. Hold on for a second. had a customer who was waving at me through the window, but I didn't feel like stopping mid-sentence. But yeah, it's pretty crazy right now. Like I said, we got 2 hours until the ball drops, and it's weird because I usually I'm usually home sitting in front of the TV, waiting for it to happen. Hey, William, how much lower does the stocks have to get for the board of WB to step in? Right now, they're not going to step in simply because they can't really tie the low price of the stock to him. The stock is going to be low for a while leading up to any of this is because you purchased a company that was devalued by 30 billion and you're dragging all that debt. That's why when he cuts all this stuff, people are like, he's cutting everything. He has to, because in order to create a debt management plan that allows your money to have value, because what's happening is for every dollar they make, it's going into interest, it's going into paying off debt. So they're not getting $1, they're getting like 50 cents. So their stock price and the value of their money is less because it's carrying the weight of a lot of debt. The sooner that they get that debt managed and get a plan going, then people will buy that stock simply because they see the company going in the right direction. And you can split your stock and you can do all type of things with your stock. That's why the stock is low right now, is because even if you pull in a certain amount of money with Warner Brothers or WBD, it's not, the money doesn't have the value that it should have. So you're spending money basically to break even. But once you spread out your debt and once you decrease and say, okay, so I got 3 billion here, 10 billion here, I can spread that across, to different assets. I can cut this, I can cut that. And I can reallocate this, I can eliminate that, or I can license. Once you start doing that, that takes less stress off of your dollar. So instead of making 50 cents for every dollar that you're bringing in from the public, you're making 75 cents now. It's a quarter, but when you're talking about millions and millions and hundreds of millions, you're getting more of your money than the interest rates and the debt collectors are, that the people who have leveraged do. So that's why. Now, once by the time James Gunn's movies are coming out, they should have a lot of that in place to where the revenue that they're bringing in is going back to the shareholders and the dividends and back into the company more so than not. So they should be fine, even if they have to spin off certain things. But now where they would step in as far as he goes is, I don't know. I think where they would step in, it wouldn't be the stock prices. Where they would step in is if, they have a different perception of how much they should be making versus reality. So say, for instance, the Superman comes out by James Gunn. It makes $500 million. It's an excellent movie. It's great. But their expectations are 750 and up. That's where they might step in. If they haven't been read in properly, and if David Zaslav hadn't said, hey, this is, and been honest with them and let them know, and they bought in, this is going to take some time. If we make 500 to 600 million, that's a win for us. That's a starting point. But and if they're on board with that plan, then the shareholders and the board's not going to step in. If they come out and say, you know what, we need to be making 750 to 800 million first time out, and it doesn't, that's where the shareholders are going to step in, because they're going to feel that they're not making gains that they should be making and that they need to make. That's a hypothetical situation, though. This is where David Zaslav comes in and has a board meeting and says this is a realistic timetable. And if he's doing that, then I think you'll be fine. All right, that's why they gave Pattinson Batman armor to withstand bullets. Yeah, and if you look at even Nolan's armor had Batman's armor had a lot of bullets and everything to it. Armor, armor plating, and his gauntlets could take out a lot of things. And like I said, all he really but the brutality that Pattinson's Batman, and the brutality of that city and the look and feel of that city, that was the Gotham City that I as a comic book collector, identified with more than any other Batman movie. And like I said, that opening scene, the opening narrative of Batman, the Batman, is what Batman is supposed to be. All right, especially when he's solo. when he's solo and he's dealing with his own issues and he's not bouncing those issues off of other people. That's what Batman is supposed to be. All right. Not some goofy cartoon, And I know a lot of people, that's my childhood Batman. Therein lies the problem. There's no such thing for me as a childhood Batman. There's Batman. All right. And Batman and X-Men are things that you do not pare down for kids. You wait until you are mentally able to accept what's going on with X-Men and Batman, then you join us big boys. But you don't take something that is brutal, dark, gritty, and the stuff of nightmares and turn it into a kid's show. All right. That's like a G-rated slasher movie. I have no use for it. All right. So, all right. Cameos in the Flash or icing on the cake. I just want to see the first live action version. Yeah. I mean, like I said, it's going to be weird. It's weird now because with everything going on. But you know what? Come June, who knows what kind of excitement will be. Tony, Chappie, I don't know about you, but I'm sick and tired of these grifters saying that every movie and TV show is wokeness, and at this point, the word means absolutely nothing anymore. It is just a buzzword, and it's generally used by people who, like I said, have never had to face things that people are bringing to the surface. Social issues that never had to deal with them. For the most part, when somebody bashes wokeism, it's generally somebody who will never feel the heat of what that person is bringing to the surface. Whether it be gender, race issues, anything else, it's generally, hit at. Not entirely, but for the most part, it's you take a look and listen who's making the complaints about it. It's somebody who never had to fight their way to the surface to make these issues known. So, and it shows a callous disregard for what other people are going. You're not the only ones living in the country. So yeah, so and it's been used as a trigger word. It's been used to basically trying to undermine any legitimate point. Now, yeah, is there sometimes where people go too far with it? Yeah, but for the most part, it balances out because for a lot of times, issues that are woke or issues that were swept under the table because the people running the show didn't ever have to relate to them. So that's what wokeism is for me. Jeez, man, New Year's Eve, 1919, man, good times, William. You remember that? Another old joke, eh? But yet Enosh, she's less than 2 years younger than me, gets a pass. That's fine. That's fine. Yeah, every version of Batman has killed people. That includes Pattinson, by the way. Pattinson's beating that guy with gauntlets that can stop bullets. Do you think he's okay? How many, like Enosh brings up, how many people died during that damn that car chase? So Penguin should be dead. There's not a lot of people who are implicitly, are announced dead in the Batman, but Penguin's dead, man. Penguin rolls over and lands on that shitty car. Penguin's dead. At the least, he's in a coma. The very first dude he beats has got brain damage because he's not letting up. He's hitting him as hard as he can. All right, and like I said, and Tim Burton's Batman, people getting bombs dropped down their doors and blowing up. Everybody in the Ace chemical factory is dead. None of those guys got out. And like I said, you go back to even Superman. Superman murders, between him and Lois, they murder. So he goes down. She doesn't get back up. You think they're just lying down there waiting for somebody to come get him? No. Zod got his hand crushed and he was tossed over the edge. He's dead. And then he gets his revenge on the truck driver at the stop, using his superhuman strength to punch a mortal human through a window. That guy's dead. But you know what? We don't revisit the consequences of those. It's like cartoon violence for us. But when when our modern, like when Superman kills the same people he's killed in the comics, when he doesn't, wow, he kills Zod again. I mean, that just tells me how much people just don't realize or appreciate the source material. Not saying you need to be a nerd like me, but if you're going to say Superman doesn't kill, before there were movies, he was killing. All right, Brinksy, the shares have dropped 60% since Gunn fired Campbell. But see, here's the thing, though. Those shares weren't going to go anywhere anyway. Cable's important, yeah, but there's other things that are leading to Warner Brothers stock being where it is. Like I said, they purchased a company for $43 billion that had almost as much as its value in debt. That's a drag on your dollar. And the longer it takes you to get out of that and to organize something, the longer your stocks. That's why I tell people, buy now. Buy now, because they will come out of this. They had a plan in place before they even made the purchase. They knew what they were getting into as far as that goes. So as their plan kicks in and residuals and their spending plan, and that's presented, their stock gets upgraded, they'll be fine. I mean, and buy it now while it's at between $8, $9, $10, $11. That's when you should be buying it, because once they do introduce their debt management program, it's going to shoot up to prices that we can't afford. So if you're a little guy right now who doesn't have a lot of money to purchase stock right now, this is a company that you would want to buy right now. The stock is new because WBD stock is brand new and it's low, but it's not going to stay that way. So I encourage people. I'm not a stockbroker, but I mean, it's a major studio, and it's the right time. I mean, take it for what you will. Just saw live action. We had 2 live action TV shows in 1990 with John Wesley Shipp and 14 with Grant Gustin. Those are live action TV shows. That's wonderful. I remember watching the John Wesley Shipp show, and I remember why it was canceled. It wasn't canceled because it wasn't getting decent ratings. It was canceled because it was too much money being spent on a TV show. It was a CBS Saturday night show, and it was back in the day where you put your good shows on Saturday. It was just so expensive per episode that you just couldn't afford to continue. They couldn't justify it. The CW, same thing. You cannot, in my opinion, as much as people love the Flash, the CW Flash, I don't think you can do the Flash right with a TV budget. And I think for a lot of people, that's what they saw first. So they accept that for what it is. But if you're looking at it from a cinematic scope, Grant, that's like comparing Legos to Ferrari parts. It's just 2 different worlds. So not to knock it, but like I said, the live action for me is in the cinema, where you get to see the characters taken as far as you can take them. You cannot take the Flash as far as the Flash can be taken on the TV show. You just can't. You couldn't do it in 1990, and you definitely couldn't do it under what the CW spent. You cannot do what needs to be done with Superman on the CW's budget. Those shows don't have the audience to even justify spending even another cent on them. Like I said, same thing with Batman Beyond. Everybody who watches the CW shows thinks everybody else loathes and loves and watches those shows. And to be honest with you, their ratings were horrible, and that's public knowledge. You can go look up CW ratings; they're horrible, and that's at the height of the Arrow and the Flash universe. It had a niche cult following, which is cool. But when you're talking about translating that over to the big screen, that's between Legos and Ferrari parts. You just can't do it. Happy New Year, Ken. Yep, yeah, we got a little bit less than 2 hours. I don't like the armored Batman. I like the Ninja S. Yeah, but he's realistically though, he'd be dead. He's getting shot at point blank a lot of times, even in the comics, and you couldn't do that without armor. Hell, with armor, it's tough. All right, Daniel Martin. Hard rebooting is going to squander so much precious time. Hard rebooting is going to squander so much precious time. DC just needs to concentrate on making one good movie at a time and forget about the MCU. That's what Snyder was doing. And he had a bunch of armchair critics that turns out didn't know shit. And, dumb people listened to those people, and we ended up going off the rails. And now here we are again. So, yeah, I agree with you. All right, Jacob McKenzie, William, I found it weird that James Gunn turned down Superman 3 years ago, but Toby probably wouldn't start Henry Cavill. He's going to doing the Superman movie 3 years later. He's doing it. The difference between 3 years ago, he wasn't running DC Studios. He wouldn't have had nearly the control over the character and the control over the entire universe narrative then as he is now. And he would be doing it under bad management. So I would have turned that job down too. Jacob McKenzie. I just hope the new Superman movie. Yeah, I hope so. Like I said, we got a while till we see it. Happy New Year to you too. And William, wasn't your dad pissed off when you guys left the theater? Yeah, because we had seen other we had gone to the movies and seen all these other kick-ass, top of the line, 3D movies, and the one that an iconic character like Jaws with a big budget that they got, where'd they spend the money? On what? On water? I mean, and it was a horrible movie. And like I said, there's dolphins in the water. I know the orca was in the cage, but you know what? If you're working at SeaWorld and you know aquatic wildlife and marine life, and you got a great white in your neighborhood, and you got orca, why don't we open the cage? Let them take care of them. You got 2 dolphins. Dolphins are known for being able to kill great whites. Dolphins can outmaneuver, outthink, and outrun any great white. And once they outmaneuver them, they ram them on the side. And once a shark stops moving, it's hard for them to breathe. That's how they get their, once a shark starts, his circulatory and respiratory system starts to fail. A couple of broken ribs, he would have bled out. Dolphins could have been hitting him like a missile, and there wouldn't have been anything that shark could do. Yeah, here's the dolphins saving the humans. Dolphins would have been like, let's fuck around with the shark. And they would have toyed with him. Because as fast as a great white is, a dolphin is literally designed for speed, and they're smarter. But like I said, just let the orca out. That ends the movie. You lift that cage and let that killer whale out, that shark can smell that shit, and he's like, oh, I'm gone. And by that time, be quite honest with you, it's too late because an orca can swim 3 times the speed of a great white shark. And they kill sharks. So, yeah. Well, maybe not that giant shark that they had in there. That's the whole thing. It just was ridiculous. And like I said, an old man was just like I said, the old man's a cheapskate like me. He's spending money for a family to go to a movies, and we got, we just hated having low quality. And that was low quality. And you got to realize he grew up. My dad grew up. Negan grew up, but he was, I think I was 1. So he was at a movie going age when Jaws first came out. When Jaws first came out, he saw Jaws in the movies. So you're following up an iconic franchise, part of his young adulthood with that crap. So yeah, he was pretty angry. Problem is, I'm going to compare the new Superman movie to Man of Steel, and it better look better. Yeah, and it's going to be even harder for them because not only are you replacing a beloved actor, you're doing a Superman while that actor is still capable of playing Superman. So people are going to hold your beat to the fire. So yeah, it's putting pressure on him, and he's got to have to succeed. So, hey, did you like the 1990 Flash with John Wayne? Yeah, I did like it. Like I said, and it sucked for me as how old was I? I was 16 when that show first came on, and I really enjoyed that show. But like I said, once I realized how much they were, as I grew older and I realized why the show was canceled, I'm like, wow, that show was really expensive for that era. 1990, they're just the effects he had, and they were cool effects for 1990, but they were top of the line. They were expensive, and you just weren't going to be able to justify that. They were spending near movie budget type money on a show when you weren't pulling movie ad revenue in 1990 with CBS. You just weren't, unless it was football or college basketball or a prime time show that had been on years. You could do that, but not with a superhero show. Like I said, I am alive and well and in good health. So. All right, I still want a shared universe. So do I, but they can't cut costs. Align all the video games, content, and series with big budget You know, it's going to be interesting to see how that all unfolds, how everything ties together. But yeah, they can't cut. They can cut costs with movies like Blue Beetle and Plastic Man. I mean, not even Plastic Man. That's heavy CGI. It's just really, like I said, if you're gonna do low budget on the big screens, you might as well just not just stick to the TV. Because the expectation, it's you don't have the choice of spending the right amount of money. You do not. The standard is set. You either accept that that's the standard or just don't take the job. Because if you get in there and you go pick and save, it's gonna show. It's gonna show. May not show as much as a solo Batman movie with grounded effects, but it's going to show when you're not doing what the expectations of what Superman is supposed to see. If you see a low budget, whether the geek like me or the average fan on the street is going to see notice in a heartbeat a cheaply done Superman, and they are not going to come back. And that's the first impression that they're going to have of your first superhero in this universe. Best worst theater movie experience was when I saw Josh Frank fantastic halfway through the movie. Two people got into a fight, and when the movie was over, people started booing. Yeah, I've been in a theater where they were shooting. I went to go see Colors back in '88. They weren't shooting at us; they were shooting at the screen because I don't know. It was a movie that was the height of the Crips and Blood stuff in there. And Crips and Bloods were going to the movies together, and they were fighting and shooting. It was just so stupid. Vegas is my favorite. It used to be till I got here. Now my hometown is my favorite vacation spot, LA. All right, let's see. Very funny. Like I said, Enosh and me literally would have been in high school together. Don't let Enosh fool you. He's not somebody popping up one of them cheap fireworks. They'll be doing that till 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, by the way. All right, we got a jokester here. Yeah. Yeah, I think MCU's formula is. I mean, I don't blame them. I blame fans and I blame execs for buying into that. That's the only way you can do these things, and it's just not true. All right, William, it's like, where is this coming from? Where all the white women at? Explain yourself, Worth 1000. Kevin Feige needs to stop ripping off John Weaves and Buffy. Yeah. All right, so we're just getting through here. Let's see. I guess Spartacus must be really good. They are definitely into that one. All right, just letting them remind you, hey, I am live. Let's see what we got here. Happy New Year, Brian. Let's see. Yeah. Only, I hope. I mean, he had a falling out with them, an old Nolan thing when they went day and day. So he's kind of mad at WB right now. Be quite honest with you. Hold on for a second. What's up?
Oh, I was just going to say if you're open, your sign's not on. But you're not open. Okay, never mind.
All right, Happy New Year, dude.
Yeah, you too.
All right. Like I said, my door's right here, so that happens. So Denny Villeneuve was upset about Dune being released day and date, being on HBO Max. I agreed with Warner Brothers in that respect because as much as I ended up loving Dune, there's a good chance that if you didn't get to see it on HBO Max, you probably weren't going to. There's a lot of people that just wouldn't have seen it. There's a lot of people that would not give that IP a chance in hell, and they weren't going to drop money to go see it. And I would have rather had the people at home giving it a chance because they have it on their HBO Max than not seeing it at all. Because once you saw it, you were drawn in. And as far as your cinematic experience goes, you know what? The people who really, really, really wanted to see Dune on the big screen saw Dune on the big screen. It's those add-on people that you would have lost out on their money for the Dune 2 because, once again, it was a complex IP. Not a lot of people were in on it. And there are some people I know for a fact that went to see Dune on the big screen after they saw it on HBO Max because they needed to see it on an IMAX or a big screen. So I think that getting as many eyes on Dune as possible, knowing that you're probably going to roll into a 2 and possibly a 3, was the best decision. Every director wants to see his movie on the big screen. I understand where he's coming from, but at the same time, business is business. We put Tenet on the big screen and it lost Warner Brothers $50 million. And then Christopher Nolan whined about that. So there may be some tension there. Hopefully Dune 2 comes out and does great and he gets his Academy and everything else and things get smoothed over. But yeah, I would love Denny to be making movies in this universe. Yeah, which part? There's a lot of partners in crime in here. Well, like I said, you're not functioning on the high level like I am. But like I said, I love this last Dune. It was like I said, it was a stunning movie. All right, let's see. Fourth, it's not for. Yeah, like I said, Dune is not for everyone though. If you're looking for if you're looking for fast-paced science fiction, it is not. There's certain times in that movie where there's a lot going on and there's fighting going on, but then there's certain parts where it's just more cerebral, and I enjoyed it. Ugh, I don't know about all that. Oops, hold on for a second. I love doing an IMAX, and I'm looking forward to seeing the sequel on IMAX. I understand it's long, but it's still perfect. Like I said, it's the best adaptation I've ever seen of a Frank Herbert thing. Yeah, they're out here. Like I said, there's still some wandering around here. Like right now, we have restaurants and stuff that are here that are open till midnight. But what people are doing is they're making their way out to, walk up and down the strip. Because if you're on foot right now, it's perfect. It's not even that cold. It's like 50s. And so what happened is people are walking around. I'm on Sahara, Maryland Parkway here, and the strip is like literally feet behind me. So they're walking around. They're hitting, the middle of the strip. Some people are going towards the north end of the strip, which is cool. And then some people are going down to the south end of the strip. The north end of town is the older, like the old Cortez type things that have been here for 50, 60, 70 years. The south end of the strip is the stuff that they keep blowing up and rebuilding. It's the newer side. But if you're a tourist, you generally go, if you're here for a few days, you pick your spots from both ends. So yeah. But there's right now, there's a 500,000 some odd people down there right now. And we'll be watching that fireworks just from where they're at. Like I said, my view from here is really good. And like I said, I'm going to show you guys that here in a second. Send the link. All right. Yeah, I sent the link. All right. Having two conversations. Yeah, I mean, you got to realize the last couple of years, I mean, in 2020, we weren't able to do anything. I mean, there was not that many people at all because we were still, in the midst of COVID. There was no vaccines at that point. We were just all staying away from each other and hoping, we didn't catch it. So having 500,000 people crap that close together during flu season too wasn't the optimum thing. 2020, it sort of slowly came back. 2021, I mean, and then now 2022, it looks like we're fully back to our usual 500,000 capacity, and turn this down upside down again, which is good. If you live in Vegas, you own a business in Vegas, this is the time of year you really do well. All right, want to help me get William flustered? Now I'm ready for you now. People came out of Batman. People came out of Batman animated series like Zombies, no kill rule. Yeah, and like I said, there's just so many things about that show. As quality as it was for being a cartoon, it, in my opinion, was not a faithful adaptation of Batman. It wasn't crap, but when you put the word Batman on top of something, I come in looking for Batman. And that I never got Batman, at least the Batman that that was faithful to what, you know. And like I said, even with the different interpretations of Batman, there are still things in that lineage that are consistent no matter who's writing it and what era it is. There are certain things that make Batman Batman, and I just didn't see it in that cartoon. I watched every episode of that cartoon, by the way. And people tell me, "Oh, Mask of the Phantasm is the best movie, Batman movie that you saw." No. It was just a hyper steroided version of the animated series to me, which is still not consistent with what Batman. It wasn't consistent, faithful adaptation of Batman. You know, that's just my opinion. Let's see. Let's make sure that certain people can't say that they didn't get the link. And I'll send it again. All right, so let's go up and down. All right, let's see. Yeah. That's one of the many reasons I generally hated that series. Now, you guys aren't going to catch me off guard this time around. I'm already steeled to your devices. Honestly, I think Batman 19. I'm thinking you meant 1989 because that's the Batman 19,889 has not happened yet. Batman Begins and Mask of the Phantasm are better movies in my opinion. I don't regard Mask of the Phantasm as a Batman movie personally, simple because once again, not just because it's animated, because that Batman, I don't recognize that Batman as a Batman that I've ever read or watched. So, Happy New Year, 1989. I got you. Unless we were doing time travels. That he's in danger of being duct taped to a chair with a notebook. Nah, there's worse movies than The Notebook. Silver Linings Playbook. How about that? That's one I would rather, you know. Ugh. Factual, Mary. Batman is still human. Hey, it would be unbelievable that he takes on all this crime in Gotham when no one dies. Yeah, and even the commissioner at one point said, "Hey, do what you got to do. I'd rather, if it comes down to it, one of the perpetrators dies, or one of my, I have to go visit a wife or a fatherless child, telling them that that their police officer father was killed by one of them." And the commissioner's like, "Hey, you know what? It's a shit sandwich. Do what you got to do." All right, let's see. To Michael Keaton and Kevin Conroy, I mean, two Batmans. That's fine. And like I said, Michael Keaton, I love, like I said, Kevin Conroy has a body of work that extends beyond Batman. And for what was asked of him, he did great. He did his job. He did it admirably. He did it at a high level. Like I said, my issues with the Batman enemies aren't him. Michael Keaton, like I said, at the time Michael Keaton was Batman, I felt it. He was relevant to me. I'm not that 16-year-old kid anymore or 15-year-old kid anymore. You could not present that Batman to me in 2022, 2023 and have me not laugh at him. So let's see. All right, the Batman issue is one of the best I've seen, second only to Ben's Batman issue in BBS. Yeah, the Batman, like I said, for a guy who's a hardcore reader like myself, to see that that narrative, that voiceover that opens up that movie, and all these criminals doing all these things, and then all looking up at that sky, just feeling that terror, and then when he walks in to the crime scene, I know that every Batman has done some level of detective work. He's done detective work. He's figured stuff out, but not in the spirit that the Batman does it. When he walked in to that crime scene, that to me was like perfect year one Batman, year two Batman. And for any of you who's ever read Batman year one or year two, I think David Mazzucchelli and Frank Miller, that is where I felt I was watching when I watched the Batman, and that's what Batman's supposed to be. All right, guys, I am going to take a couple minutes, and I'm going to go refill my water real quick, and I'm going to use the restroom, and then I'm going to come back. So let's see, what should I So I have you guys watching. Here, while we do that, let's do this. All right. I'm going to put the link to this. And remember, last week or the week before, we celebrated the finishing of Project Justice League. While I'm in the restroom, I'm going to show you a different part of it that I didn't show you last week. Hopefully, you guys have been watching it, pushing up the views, and hopefully, if you can, have been donating money to the cause there because it is a worthy cause. I think we all know somebody who has dealt with the issues of suicide, either having the thoughts themselves or being having a family member or a friend do it. So we're gonna while I use the bathroom, we are gonna watch a little bit of it, just so that you're not watching a blank screen. Bam. And
in Metropolis, Superman asks Lois,
"When were you going to tell me?"
Tell you what, Clark?
I can hear the second heartbeat. You shouldn't call me Clark. Clark is dead. The world believes that too.
Superman mistakes Lois's hesitation for fear.
It won't hurt you,
he says. At the Louvre in Paris, Diana and Menalippe, the Amazon who came to warn Diana about Steppenwolf, discover there may be a way to remember the path back to Themyscira. Diana must use the lasso on herself to unlock her mind. It's a dangerous process, but Diana wants to help Menalippe home, and Diana wants to see her mother again, even if she might reject her. Diana puts the lasso on, and suddenly she's overwhelmed by visions. In the beginning, they're wonderful. For the first time in over a century, Diana sees her home, soaring over the island. She sees the Amazons, and finally, her mother.
I see it. Themyscira. Mother!
But then her visions grow dark. Diana sees herself as the god of war, in a battle with Superman. As she kills him, Diana cries out.
No! No!
Menalippe frees Diana from the lasso. Despite the pain and confusion, Diana remembers the way home.
It is done. I remember the way home.
In a Central City courthouse, Barry is at a hearing. Thanks to Cyborg, Iris, and a troupe of lawyers from Wayne, the state has examined new evidence that Barry and Vic have presented and agree to reopen Henry Allen's case. Barry is elated.
Thank you.
Along an underwater continental shelf, Aquaman and Mira are in a violent battle with the last of the Seven Kingdoms, the Unseen. It explodes around tidal pools and active volcanic lava flows. Arthur has the Seventh King on the ground, his trident at his throat. The Seventh King tells him to kill him.
I am not here to be your executioner. Join us in uniting the Seven.
But the Seventh King refuses. Arthur leaves, frustrated. The last kingdom refuses to unite. In the Batcave, Cyborg upgrades the cave, even providing a female AI voice for Alfred, who has become a father figure of sorts. Looking at the empty cave around them,
"Why is he never home?"
Alfred solemnly replies,
"Because, Master Stone, then he'd have to face himself."
Batman moves deep into the Canadian wilderness, doing second, following up on a lead that Lex may have been sighted in one of the remote towns. He fights his way through a secret location only to discover not Lex Luthor hiding out, but the Riddler. Awake for days, maybe weeks, Riddler has a long, unkempt beard. his fingers dirty, his rantings written across.
That. All right, I'm back. All right. We are 1 hour and 18 minutes away from 2023. So I'm just going to continue to go through. Where am I at here? Let's see. Going down. William, we grew up with different style of Batman. If you don't like the Batman animated series, it's fine. We all love Batman. That's a fair point, and that's a point I always, even though I like to poke fun at the Batman animated series, and I give you my reasons why I don't like it, I will approach it the same way as I do Star Trek. Some of you guys have come into watching Star Trek through Lower Decks. I can't sit through Lower Decks for more than 10 minutes before it drives me crazy. But if that's how you get into Star Trek, that's fine. I consider Star Trek, and same thing with Batman, as one big table with a bunch of doors that lead into the dining room. However you got there is fine with me. I mean, I came up through the source material. I came up with what I consider to be the true interpretations of Batman. If the Batman animated series, as much as I don't have any regard for it, if that's how you got here, you're here. You're at the table with me. All right. Now, first time I meet you, I'll hand you a Dark Knight Returns, trade paperback and hopefully convert you. But like I said, I have my personal reasons why I do not have as much regard for the animated series as some do. I have no regard for it. But I don't knock anybody who does. I just think it has an outsized influence on how certain Batman stories were written going forward, and they just didn't work out. And we always end up back with the true interpretation of Batman. No matter how far we went from Bob Kane's version of Batman, that is the brutal, gangster, anti-gangster, anti-corruption from the 30s and 40s. And then we went to Adam West's cheesy Batman. But then we went back to Tim Burton and Tim Burton's Batman 89. So no matter all these other deviations of Batman that are not necessarily what the faithful interpretations of them based on the source material, not just my opinion, but they always seem to come back to this. Now here we are with the Batman. All these other interpretations of Batman that are out there, we come back to the grassroots Batman. That Batman that you're watching in there is Batman from 1938, 1939. That Batman that you see in the Batman is Batman from the mid to late 80s. That Batman is Batman Year One from Frank Miller. That Batman is a Batman you could see grow into the Dark Knight. So no matter what interpretations that brought you in the Batman, for me, I'm always confident that all these things always come back to the grassroots of what Batman is. And if Batman the Animated Series is how you came in, welcome to the club. Like I said, I may not disagree with the door you came into the club in, but I'm happy to have you as part of this Batman club. So yeah, I do agree with that, Ryan. All right. And let that monster live. That's probably part of Keaton looks like a guy who does my taxes. Nope. What is it? Fourth cracking jokes in here? What did he say? I have to go back. What does Fourth do? Was it the taxes joke? Because that wasn't funny, but it was. What did you do, Fourth? You disrupted the chat. All right. Oh, you're talking about the Riddler? Okay. You guys might be having a conversation that I was not part of. The word wokeness is just so annoying, and oftentimes I wonder if it's just grifters actually. Well, a lot of it, like I said, is people who just don't and will never feel the heat of some of the things that they're saying is woke. So when it comes to race relations, I mean, if you're not of a certain demographic, you've never had, you've never, no one's ever stopped you from voting. All right. No one's ever tried to gerrymander you out of a district. Nobody has ever, most of you haven't have that talk with your kid. I mean, things like that when it's gender issues. I mean, if you're a straight person in the United States, you don't know what a person who is of a different preference is going through, and they are included. All these lifestyles and all these genders and all these ethnicities and backgrounds are all part of the fabric of the United States. And just because we didn't hear from all those other fabrics for a certain amount of time doesn't mean that they didn't exist, and that their issues shouldn't be talked about. I mean, and if it inconveniences somebody, I mean, like I said, that's literally the reason why these things need to be talked about, because the people who are living these circumstances, whether it be gender, race, anything else, we don't get to change the channel or change the subject. It's with us. So, all right, fourth 1,000. I missed his joke. I hate when I leave and I miss his joke. I don't know about that either. I've heard about that. I've heard that rumor. Uncle Ben. I don't know if he needs to see Uncle Ben anymore. My rights. I can't see Tim Burton first having a well. I can't see Tim Burton. Like I said, I enjoy Wednesday, but a lot of Tim Burton's later work I have not enjoyed, and I think he's kind of overrated. Yeah, how far behind are we? Let me go all the way down here. Oh my goodness. I'm going to start at the bottom and go up. It's a super chat from Larry Karowski. How you doing? Sweet Fancy Moses. It's 23. Time to emulate old games and catch up on the Arrowverse and DCAU while DCU gets off the ground. Watch up, Point Echelon. Like I said, all that stuff is great. Video games. The Arrowverse actually started out good, but I think after the first 4 seasons of both their anchor shows, it just lost me. And like I said, I think the limitations would have were caught up. But you know what? Like I said, there's not as many people as they always think that are watching there, but there's a lot of people who are watching it that really love it. So here to the Arrowverse, as long as WBD wants to keep it on there, and if they do cut things, hopefully they fold it in HBO Max so you guys have something to watch, because you guys, the people who I know that love the Arrowverse and the Flash and all, they love those shows. It's an undying passion for them. So, get as much out of it as you can. I mean, eventually it may all go away, but enjoy it while it's there. All right, Happy New Year's, fun. I hope there's not I hope this is not for a gun news DC. I want every movie to build towards something and no throwaway movies. Same here. I am buying, when I lay down my money for this Superman movie, my expectations are that you're going to give me a Justice League at some point. And if you don't, I'm mad. Yeah, unfortunately, DC TV just doesn't pull in the revenue, and it's a double-edged sword because it's low budget, but you can't justify a higher budget because you don't have the audience for it. And even if you did have the audience for it, network TV and syndicated TV, you just can't do that when you're running a multi-level conglomerate like Warner Brothers Discovery, where if you're going to spend that much money on TV, why don't you just add it? If you're not getting ad revenue, why don't I just put that on HBO Max? It just becomes a choice. All right, let's see what what's up, RJ? Oh, RJ's at the strip club getting loaded right now. I bet. Nah. Happy New Year, RJ. You're in Alabama, so you just hit it. We are at 10:51, so we have an hour and 9 minutes left in this year. The problem with Chris Reeves, let's start talking like a human again. The problem with Chris Reeves movies is that they are more cheesy romantic movies and action sci-fi movies, which is what action comics were. Well, and you also have to realize it was the 80s. I mean, the Superman movies, the Reeves movies were perfect for the time that they were released. They do not age well, though. The further I got away from the Superman movies, as the 80s, we turned into the 90s, turned into the 2000s, 2010s, I realized where those movies sat and where they belonged. And they belonged in the time that they were released. And even though that was the first Superman I saw on a big screen, like I said, my adult me waves high to that Superman, but embraces a new one. Celebrating the highs and the lows for all of us, Ken. I just hope the Snyderverse is an Elseworlds or something. If it can do Elseworlds, Joker, Batman, why not? That's like I said, at this point, that's all I want. I am an easy guy to please. All I want is an ending to what you began. You put a product out there, even though you panicked because some other people bitched and moaned about it. I liked your project. A lot of us liked your product. We continue to support your product even when you were giving us nonsense. All I want is an ending to something you began. And am I the asshole for that? No, I don't think so. All right, and I think that it would add credibility to whatever it is you're thinking about doing if you were to complete the first thing that you ever did. It's all about trust. And right now, they're embarking on this new thing. It's like we're leaving a ship that's, and to get on another ship. And, it's just like, why are we doing this? If I got to get on this other ship, don't I want to finish my trip? I mean, you need to finish what you started. The advantage, the significant advantage that Marvel does have, I don't think it's quality, it's consistency. They built a trust bridge between them and their fans. You start a Marvel adventure, you know that adventure is going to finish. You don't have such assurances with DC right now, and that needs to change. Okie dokie. Yeah, there's hundreds of versions of Batman in the comics that murdered fools from left to right. People just don't read the comics anymore. And like I said, you have if you came into the animated series, obviously they couldn't have him killing people on the cartoon. And they couldn't have him being as brutal as he really is in the cartoon. They couldn't have him being a sociopath like he is in the comics, in the cartoon. There was just a certain tone and tenor that you could not present in Batman the Animated Series. Batman the Animated Series on its own, if you took Batman off of it, it's a fun series to watch. It's a fun mystery type thing to watch. It's a fun, type superhero thing to watch. But when you put Batman on there, now you're adding something to it, and especially in my opinion, expectations to be there, and you're bringing people in that will eventually look for other sources that have Batman, and they're going to be shocked and surprised. Like if you grew up and you saw some of you guys that grew up in, with Batman the Animated Series, and heaven forbid you picked up the Dark Knight Returns or the Killing Joke, you might have gone into shock, because those stories are Batman stories. Let's see. It looks like shit today. I don't know if I want to do that. I've been doing a lot of woodwork today. And tell you what, Fourth, I'll do that next week. Remind me you asked me. I will do it next week because I still got the Star Wars section that I got a bunch of power tools sitting in right now because I've used it to stage for the shelves and stuff that we built in and the work I've been doing. But next week I'll be done, so I can give you guys a full tour without saying, "Oops, don't look at that, don't look at that." I mean, it's okay when you're sitting in it, but I don't think it would transfer well over cam. But I will do that next week, though. Batman was never a ninja. He always makes sure samurai for. All right, we're getting into that last hour. 22 has got to be better than 20. 23 has got to be better than 22. I'm so feeling good. Yeah, I think there's good enough reason to believe that things are going to pan out. I mean, you just look at some of the people around you, and some of the people just didn't make it to this point, or are doing. There's always somebody out there that's doing a lot worse than you, are dealing with things that I couldn't fathom dealing with. So, just like I always say, just take stock in everything around you, take inventory in everything around you, everything and everyone, and realize that you're still moving forward in a way that you can still build on. So, 23, I'm ready for it. Film Goblin, my Goblin. That's hilarious. All right, Gunn said he's keeping what works and getting rid of what didn't. I don't understand how he can argue that Henry Cavill didn't work unless it's personal. I would have to hear more from him. I don't know what he's going to keep, so I have to know. Like, if he keeps the Suicide Squad, okay, that lost money in the theaters. That didn't work. Or everybody loves Peacemakers, according to whose numbers? Samba is still registering terrestrial TVs. It's 2023. Next thing they'll be registering is how many people have candles for lighting their house. So that's not consistent. So I am going to I'll hold judgment on that when I actually see what he keeps and what he's going to go forward with, because we could rack our heads into the walls trying to figure out what he's doing right now. I find it hilarious when people complain about Ben Affleck, Batman killing people, and don't even care about the other Batman in the past that's killed people. You know, like I said, yeah, including the newest one. Like I said, the only Batman that didn't kill was the animated series, as far as I know, and that to me is one of the main cases to be made against that one. Is like, he did something, he didn't do something in a cartoon that he does on every other format that you see Batman on. All right, so they basically, because he couldn't do that on the cartoon. You could not have the brutal aspect of Batman on the cartoon. So that wasn't, when you take away the things that make him Batman, then it's not Batman. It's just another TV show in the guise of Batman. But like I said, I won't. If that is the way you came into the Batman universe, fine. Now, I think what ended up happening is that the previous people, Abdi and DeLuca, were fine going forward with The Rock and Cavill, wrapping up everything. And David Zaslav, while he was doing that, was in the process of hiring James Gunn. And once he hired James Gunn and heard what he had to do, he figured it would be too much of an entanglement to that, which I disagree. I think they should have continued to go on with what they were doing and let James Gunn do his thing, because it's going to take time. These things are going to take time to gel. So while Gunn's universe is coming together, the previous universe could be wrapping up. What's going on, Dave?
Oh, not much. I was just watching Spartacus with Stella.
Yeah, I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
That's that X-rated show. No, I'm just kidding. It's not X-rated. I mean,
blood, brains, and everything else, man.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's got a bunch of naked chicks in it. It was the time. It's very consistent with what the time was.
Consistent with Rome, definitely.
Oh my goodness, man! When they say living like the Romans, I'm like, oh man, that entails a lot.
Yeah,
that entails a lot of debauchery. All right, I'm just going through the chats right now, waiting for this ball to drop. William went. Oh yeah, I still didn't get this. I still didn't get that fourth. Go ahead, Dave.
Happy New Year, everybody. By the way, it's already crossed and made the New Year for me.
Yeah, us West Coasters are just.
Yeah, y'all are the ones.
Yep, we got 1 hour. Literally, it's 11 o'clock on the dot. At some point, like I was telling them, what I'll do is I'm going to go log in on my phone, and then I'm going to walk outside when the fireworks happen. So we'll show the lounge the fireworks up close. I mean, it's up close. I'm as close to the strip as you can get to without actually being on there. But I got two different views. I got the view of the North Strip. I'll start there, and then I'll walk around to the top level, and then I'll come out the other end, and you'll literally see them like they'll be right under us if I'm correct, if they do it like they've done it every year. So that'll be cool, and then we'll wrap it up from there. But yeah, it's just been going over the year, and the fact that this is the first New Year's Eve that I've had a YouTube show, because last year I was sitting at my house just watching TV, watching the Discovery Mystery Channel or something. I mean, doing something, rolled up in a blanket and done, because as somebody who's been here since '93, I stay away from the strip. And even though my business is right off the strip, I'm home. I'm done. 4 o'clock, they close down the streets. I get my ass onto the west side. Once they close it down, I'm past the DMZ. I'm just kicking back. But this year, I felt that if we had this format, that I should do something. So here I am.
Hey, you've got to teach me how to make thumbnails, because I'm debuting my channel next week. So
mine suck. You sure you want me to teach you?
Well, you can
it's me doing
this.
Here, cartoon yourself doing this. Here, hold on. Here. Oh, wait, hold on. I don't even know how I'm. Here you go. There you go. See, that's me. That's how you do it. There we go. I can't even do this right. Here we go. Back. Bam. But yeah, I love the way my arms are creeping like right above my head. Look at that. See?
Yeah.
There you go. Here's my thumbnail. But yeah, I just put I have a cartoon version I use from the Git thing, and then I just throw whatever the topic is. I use my logo, and I use PNGs. I just overlay it with PNGs, and then it does a couple minutes. Everybody's got a different way of doing it. John Campius does his a different way. Some of his are hilarious. Some of them I think are misleading because he'll put like with Ezra Miller when Ezra Miller was in front of his mind and no one really cared about it as much as he did, he would put that as like the big thumbnail. And I'm like, dude, that's like 2 minutes of your show.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I'll give you some pointers.
By the way, fourth, I gave myself the name Thade. It comes from an old D&D character. His name was Thade Baez. He was an elf. And as to Larry Quarterwitz, hi, old gunslinger, and well met. And welcome to 2023 as the world moves on.
Nerd.
All right. Face it, William. Every movie, Batman is a murderer. No director understands Batman's no kill. There is no the reason why no director understands a no kill rule because Batman doesn't have a no kill rule. Batman will not target you and make his initial intent your death. But if there is the different if he's in a fight and the only way he can make it out alive is to kill you and you are causing more, he will kill you. He's done so. If there is a situation where there are civilians and he's done this, where there's cops involved, he has killed people. He has killed the perpetrator. And he's done so. And the reason why the directors don't have a no-kill rule is because Batman doesn't have a no-kill rule. The only two Batman that have a no-kill rule are Adam West's Batman. And even to that extent, if you watch it closely, people die in Batman. It's just comedy, and we don't really take it seriously. He's tossed and got rid of bombs that blew up in places that killed people. All right, he's tossed people off of buildings when they're doing that thing where they're riding up to Batman and he's fighting and he tosses the guy out the window and he falls. That guy's dead. Adam West just killed a guy. So the only Batman that has a no-kill rule is a cartoon, and that is because they could not present the real Batman and all of his glory in that cartoon, or else they would not have been able to put that cartoon in front of kids.
No.
But you guys saw that, and you grew up into adulthood, and you think that because he doesn't kill there, and he doesn't act with the brutality there that is built into the DNA of his character for 8 decades, people conflate that with the overall narrative of the character. Batman kills. All right.
Yeah,
Batman doesn't kill.
I hate to tell you, youngsters, Batman, even in the early days, carried a gun. Like, if you go back to the first guns. Yeah, if you go back to the first 40 issues of Batman between Detective Comics and Batman, he carried a gun, fellas. He carried a couple of guns. He also used to kill the bad guys on the regular.
Yeah. Listen, when people get tossed out of moving cars and he runs them over with the Batmobile, they die.
He'd send them he'd leave Commissioner Gordon murder trophies, like a lot of the time.
And he would apologize to Commissioner Gordon. Hey, I had to do this. Kate, and I always said, like I said earlier in the stream, Commissioner Gordon, like, hey, it was better them than one of my cops or civilian. You know what? He was never going to press charges.
No.
But like I said, I'm not making fun of you guys who love the Batman animation show. All I'm saying is that there has been a misinterpretation of what the character was designed to be. Not my opinion of what he is, what he was designed to be, because they took elements out of his design and made it suitable for kids. They made a character that was never, ever designed to be put in front of kids, for kids. Super fans, all that stuff. What you're seeing in Super fans, that is a caricature of Batman. That is a farce. That's fun. I had a lot of fun as a kid. That's not Batman. As I grew older, I understood, oh, hell no.
As we grew older,
that guy standing next to Marvin with his little blanket cape and Gleek and Jan and whatever, that's not Batman. No. So I came in. Listen, you guys came into the animated series. I came into the Super Friends and Adam West. But once I grew up, I understood that wasn't Batman. Not my opinion of Batman. the design is Batman is what he is, period, no matter who you are. You can interpret it different ways, but Bob Kane designed Batman in an era where there's open warfare on the streets and open death on the street. All right, he created his Batman kneecap people. He shot him in. He didn't kill him. He would shoot at their feet. He would shoot lights out. I mean, he would shoot at things to maneuver them around.
Affleck Batman was fucking branding people. I mean, come on.
Yeah, and he carried a shotgun. That's Batman. Like I said, it's almost like if you were going to do Nightmare on Elm Street, or you were going to do, a Rob Zombie, do House of a Thousand Corpses, and you were going to make it PG rated. Just don't do it. That's what I feel about when people make things suitable for children that were never designed to be sat in front of a children. Chris Claremont's X-Men, which is the X-Men that they tried to derive that X-Men cartoon from. There was an argument that at one point in the 80s when I was growing up, whether X-Men should be put on a different shelf because due to the graphic violence in comparison to other Marvel comics at the time. That was how deep X-Men was. X-Men dealt with mass murders before it was even part of the news. X-Men dealt with higher end. I mean, there was things, Apocalypse and that cartoon is a joke. The Apocalypse, how his mentality is in the comics, that whole, just culling of people and his ties directly, directly with the way the survival of the fittest, and that microcut between him and Magneto. I mean, these were characters that came from horrific circumstances, and you cannot kiddie those circumstances up. All right, so that's my issue. Not people who like it. Fine, like what you like. My issue is you made things that were not for kid consumption stuff, and you took away what made those characters special. And that's in my opinion.
All right, so let's see. I heard Peacemaker.
Hasn't started filming yet. Do you think that the show is going to get a season 2? I think so. I don't know though, but like I said, he wasn't running DC Studios when they greenlit that. So if he's being it depends on what elements and what he's doing and what's going to be an Elseworld and what's not. That's gonna, like I said, until he announces what's what. It's hard to answer that question. I would assume so in some form, but I can only assume. I don't have inside information.
Yeah, we don't know yet.
All right. Let's see. Lucas Lee's movies. Where am I?
Mary Wilcox, William, I have never actually read a Batman comic, but I have done the same research on them, and I agree with you about the way Batman is portrayed in Batman. It worked, yeah, and it's the first time in a long time outside of Ben Affleck's Batman, because that Batman was created to work with that universe, but it's the first time that I've seen Batman in a solo movie where it was the Batman. It was the Batman that Bob Kane created. It was the Batman that David Mazzucchelli and Frank Miller worked on in year 1 and year 2. That was the Batman who would sit across from the Joker and the Killing Joke. That was the Batman that was being written from 1986 and 1982 to 1991. That was the Batman. All right, that's the Batman that when you have to create a new black label brand to put the proper Batman stories in there. That's that Batman. All right, and it's the first solo Batman movie where I felt that way, even more so than 1989. Because if you look at 1989, you have the same problem in 1989 as you do with Christopher Reeve's thing. It doesn't age well. It's fun to watch over and over again, but what makes these characters so relatable is that, especially with Batman, that Batman it can exist in a world that Riddler. It could exist here with us. He's not a fool wearing a big question mark, tie and a bunch of question marks on his blazer. That serial killer, brutal Riddler could literally exist with us with no issue. And that's what Matt Reeves as the universe gives you. So what do you have to be thankful for as we roll out in the West Coast this 2022 thing?
I have a good woman in my life. have a good life so far. There's been a lot of changes this year. About to be a year now since my dad's been gone. About to be a year since my mentor died because they died within a week of each other.
That was a tough week.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. Other than that, man, you just got some good friends, made some good friends through this YouTube thing. My YouTube stuff has really ramped up since this year started. Have a few people to thank for that. Other than that, I'm looking forward to embarking on a YouTube channel next year and starting here in the next week or so, and it's going from there and seeing where this leads me.
Cool. Let me go to Chappie. Was when Sony hack happened is the reason why Amazing Spider-Man 3 got canceled. Now, the reason why Amazing Spider-Man 3 got canceled was because they engineered the deal with Disney. That was the reason why they got canceled. Is they had been trying to get Spider-Man into that universe for years, and at the time, Amazing Spider-Man was doing well. So Amazing Spider-Man did $750, $760, in adjusted dollars, it did very well. After the second one, if it hadn't been for the Sony and the Marvel deal being on the table, you would have gotten the third Spider-Man. You would have gotten the third Amazing Spider-Man. But because that deal was on the table, that's why you got that.
So trying to jump around. I wish Enosh is still working on getting you guys added so that I don't have to do all right. So okay, I'm gonna all right, Caselli, you let's see.
You really shouldn't get mad if somebody trashes Tobey Maguire. It doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. I mean, his movies came out and they made a lot of money. Spider-Man 2 is one of the great sequels of all time, period. It is my second favorite Spider-Man movie overall.
Oh, yeah.
Spider-Man 2 is one of the great sequels of all time. And Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, along with the Fox X-Men, broke the ground for the type of movies. We don't have the type of movies we have now without the original X-Men franchise and without Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. You think people have disrespect for Tobey Maguire? Be sitting in that theater that I was sitting through when that portal opens up and he walks through. There's grown-ass men with tears in their eyes. So you are not alone in your love for Tobey Maguire, Caselli. And like I said, don't let anybody. What people think about your favorite characters doesn't matter. Those characters belong to you.
Well, to an extent. To an extent. They also still somewhat belong to the creators.
They belong to the creators, but if he loves them,
there's nothing I can say that can take away that
you're still echoing. You can get that fixed? I mean,
dude, you never got with me so we could work on it together.
Yeah, that's true.
It
has to be. I'm thinking it's. So you have what kind of camera you got?
Oh well, the camera's off right now. It's unplugged even.
Okay, so it's not giving you feed through that, so that eliminates that. So there's got to be some other source that's speaking back to you.
It's something with my soundboard. I just don't have my soundboard set right.
You might want to. Until it gets out. You might want to. I wonder if you unplug it and just go directly in instead of mixing, because there's something that's feeding. I didn't realize you had a soundboard. That would be it. But yeah, it's just weird. Because I don't even know how to operate a soundboard. So you're ahead of me.
My microphone is the cable, the aux cable is too big for what's on my computer, so it has to run through. So we're just gonna have a little echo until we get it figured out.
It's probably an adapter issue. So let's see, 2005.
2005 Fantastic Four movie. I actually liked it. I didn't. For what it was, I actually thought that movie was kind of cool. But once you started rolling out all these other movies, it just didn't line up well. It doesn't. Once you started rolling out with Iron Man and Thor and everything else, that Fantastic Four movie looked cheesier than hell. If they would have never started the MCU, it wouldn't have been a problem. But yeah, it just doesn't hold up with the movies especially that second one. That second one with that cloud monster Galactus, that was awful.
Oh, don't pick on Cloud Lactus.
Yeah, that was so disappointing.
But Cloud
Wednesday, Justice League. Happy New Year, everybody. Everybody's coming and saying happy. I miss you. Happy New Year to everybody. You guys on the Midwest and West Coast, you already in 2023, and we're just waiting to drag ourselves into. What do you mean by the classics, Caselli? The classics is going to be different from like for me. The classics would be like the 80s.
He was upset. He was upset for quite a while in the chat because we were saying Batman killed in the comics and stuff. He still isn't willing to accept that. This is just part of.
Caselli, I guess it depends on what you consider a classic. For me, the classic when it comes to Batman is the classic stuff that's the reason why we have the movies and the TV shows. I mean, there's only two interpretations of Batman that are not brutal, and that's the cartoon and Adam West. Everything else is classic. Everything else is he's consistent.
That's Superman and Superman 2 killed. If you ignore the Donner,
I said before. Yeah, he beat the hell out of a trucker. The triple homicide that takes place at the Crystal Palace there is those people aren't coming back. But the Portraits of Solitude has little skeletons at the bottom. Did you see Zod come back up and say, "Oh darn, dude, you got me. Take me in"? No. Did you see Ursa come back up and say, "Wow, dude, I'm glad I landed on something soft down there"? And the Bonehead, he just ran in. You didn't see him coming back to you. They all lived happily ever after. And then he goes back to the truck stop in superhuman form and punches a mortal man.
Let me just say, okay, all putting suspending your disbelief aside, guys. If you had powers like that, you can't say you'd have a no-kill rule. Sorry. It's not possible. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Hey, Andrew, I keep saying Andrew. I don't know if Andrew Casale and Jay Casale are the same people, but hey, in any event, dude, we don't need to be doing all caps. We're talking about fictional characters that don't exist.
Casale, look, do me a favor, buddy. Do me a favor, buddy. Calm down just a little bit. You got your heart going. You need to calm down. I'll give you a buffalo nickel. You calm down, all right? Big old wooden buffalo nickel if you calm down, brother.
Yeah, there's no need for all caps. No need for all caps. Do I want Batman to be the Punisher? No. Okay, two different circumstances. The Punisher, he means to kill. That is his mission. His stated mission is to take dangerous criminals and people who have escaped the arm of the law permanently off the playing field. That is his mission. Not to apprehend, not to protect anyone, the public, not to question, interrogate. No. The Punisher, Frank Castle, from moment one, day one, he's a killer. That's what he does. That is his mission. With Batman, Batman's first priority is not to kill you. Batman would much rather take you in, interrogate you. He wants to get you. He wants to stop you as a threat. If you're a criminal, he's trying to stop the threat, and he does this primarily by de-escalation. He uses all of his skill and all of his ability and all of his gadgets to overwhelm dangerous people to the point where he does not have to kill them. However, there are circumstances where those enemies are just as savvy, or they present a danger to the public, even if they don't present a danger to him. So there's situations where Joker's henchmen are going to throw some poisonous gas in a crowd of people and going to kill them. And he will use the initial means to try to stop that. But if the only means that he has is a bat blade that catches a guy in the eye, and that's happened, he's justified. If that's actually a justifiable homicide. Whereas if you put the Punisher in that same circumstance, Punisher's not going to try to stop the guy. Punisher's not going to try to rope the guy. Punisher's going to put a bullet in that guy's chest. Top dead center, that's it. Punisher gives no shits about that. So it's two different mentalities. There are, just like a cop, a police officer, a good police officer would rather never have to draw his gun and fire. But if a criminal or perpetrator poses a threat to himself, his fellow officers, or the general public, he's going to do what he needs to do. All right. Whereas a murderer is just going to walk up and shoot you. So two different types of people. People die on both cases, but one of them is a murderer, and the other one is going to be, he's justifiable homicide. Like I said, if Batman just said, you know what, I'm going to kill the Joker just because I'm tired of the Joker. But no, even Batman says, you know what, we need to show these people that our way works. So he brings the Joker back. That's why he could have killed the Joker 1,000 times. Doesn't do it because he believes in the system.
Actually, technically, the very first appearance of the Joker, he was supposed to die. He wasn't supposed to be a continuing character.
Yeah, but then you see how that worked out. Nolan did use no kill, but still has him killing. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Batman himself. Now that's where I think there might be some confusion. Batman has, when he says no kill, that means that is not his initial intent. He is not a murderer. He is not a vigilante in that respect. That doesn't mean that he has not killed or does not have to sometimes, or that people haven't died as a result of the things he has to do, to protect.
Look, man, the way I see it,
no kill mentality is he's just not a murderer.
The way I see it is this: you do what you have to, okay? And let me just say, if he had put Joker in the ground years ago, there would have been half the deaths that there were. There would have been no point for injustice. There would have been no point for the Red Hood. There would have been no point for any of that. But he kept letting the Joker, taking the Joker in, knowing that the Joker would be broken out. And hell, Jason Todd got onto him about it after he was Red Hood,
I have not blocked Casale yet.
As far as I know, Casale is not blocked. He is still talking even right now.
Yeah. I don't have any. I mean, relax, dude. That's all I want you to do is relax, homie. I mean, we're talking literally comic book characters. I mean, even the ones I love to death. It's ultimately it's like when I talk wrestling. It's not real. All right.
Yes, but
I find it annoying when there are people that say how much Michael Keaton or Michael Bay raped their childhood. Jeez. And I'm sorry that the first Transformer movies are guilty pleasure. You know what? The first Transformer movie I thought was the most fun I've had in a long time.
Oh yeah.
It just as they went on, it just like, oh my god, this is
Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on. Casale, you either calm down or I will block you at this point. You are attacking out at everybody. You need to stop. Either relax or do us a favor and go for the night. We're not having this. You're attacking people in the chat. No. Stop it.
It's not that serious, dude. It's not that serious.
You're talking about comic book characters. We are talking about fantasy. We are talking about make-believe. Getting yourself bent out of shape over it. Not cool, dude. Chill out.
I mean, these characters exist for fun. And if you're not having fun, you're not doing it right. Just relax, dude. All right. So we are at 11:25. We're creeping towards 2023 up here in the coast. Woo! I'm excited to embark on this next year. This year wasn't perfect, but I navigated through a lot of different things. I added some things to my repertoire. I added this YouTube platform to the playing field for me, which has helped me do a lot of different things. I am putting myself in a format that I can watch again and improve on. I watch all my shows to a certain extent. And I improve upon that. Not just how I speak to you guys, because my goal with this show is to speak to the people in this chat and the people that are on the screen with me the same way I would speak to people who are walking through that door. So being able to see myself on the outside and see how I respond has helped a lot with that, especially running a business and dealing with the public. It also gets me, one of the things I love about being here in Vegas is that I get people in from all over the world. And this YouTube thing, we get to talk to people all over the world, from here to Australia, and remember that one time we had a guy from South Africa. I mean, the reach that we've been able to have with this thing is kind of cool. And like I said, I'm optimistic of what I can do going forward with it as I improve with my equipment, as I improve with my format. Once I get these 2 studios done and built, I think the sky is the limit. I think 2023 is going to be that launching pad for me. So, besides your new show, what are you most looking forward to, Steve?
What am I most looking forward to in the future?
Yeah, 2023 at least.
2023. Some kick-ass movies coming out. I'm making a change of scenery. I'm not going to be where I'm at anymore. Moving to better pastures. I have some opportunity to do some voice acting this next year and possibly making a career of it. Starting my YouTube channel and spending time with my lady. And getting more, going forward with the Sci-Fi Center and everything else. Pretty much. What I've been doing, my year hasn't sucked.
Yeah, like I said, I'm looking to expand. Fourth 1000. What is the future of the Sci-Fi Center, William? We're days away from getting the Star Wars section done. Finally, after all this time, getting the Star Trek section done. Continuing to add more merchandise. Adding tons more pop pickers. That's a big seller here. Adding much more diverse merchandise. Just making sure that I have things that set me apart from all the other stores that are like-minded like me, because we all have the same stuff to a certain extent, but it's the stuff that you add on to and the things that you do around you that make the choice different from that person picking that guy or the next guy. I have a lot of live action stuff going on. In 2 weeks, we're going to be doing our second Project Ripper, which I'll advertise at the end here. It is where we stage all 5 murders of the Ripper in our plaza that I'm housed in here, and we invite in the public to figure out who it is, so we hand out prizes. I'm going to do that with Blade Runner as well at some point before the end of the year. Doing our Rocky Horror Picture Show, doing that more often. I got drive-in scheduled for when the weather gets better.
Dude, I'm telling you, William, on my way out to the West Coast, which is where I'm heading, I'm gonna drop in and see you, man.
Cool. Yeah, I encourage everybody to come by if you're in Vegas. I mean, don't make a special trip for me. But yeah, if you're out here, come see me. Like I said, I love showing people around. That we meet on YouTube.
You got a super chat from Fourth.
I'm going. That is Fourth 1000. Hey, Fourth 1000. Can you interview indie directors? Yes, I'm working on that. Can you interview indie directors if that interests you, like Pooh, Blood and Honey guys, for example? Also, do you get money for super chats or Enosh? Enosh gets the super chats. I don't really need them, to be honest with you. And he is, he offers, but I'm like, by the time it gets to me, it's like, you got, paper, whatever you take, people get their percentages, YouTube gets your percentages. And, I would, rather him use that for the channel, because like I said, I wouldn't have a platform if it wasn't for his channel. Now on my when I get monetized on my end, it'll be different. But like I said, I don't pay for, I don't do any upkeep on any of this. I don't do any maintenance on any of this. I don't, like somebody drops in a $200 or $300 super chat or something like that while I'm on here, then yeah, we'll talk. But for the most part, no, I don't, by the time that money got to me, it would be pennies. So it's not even, worth it like that. So, but yeah, he has offers, but I'm like, nah, don't worry about it, dude.
Now,
as far as, go ahead.
Go ahead. Finish your thing there. I'll talk about it afterwards.
Yeah, but as far as the independent, I am working. We're just trying to line up the Pooh, Blood and Honey guys. I got other people that make local films here that I'm trying to line up. A lot of it is scheduling. A lot of these guys are filming, and a lot of these guys are in different time zones, different days off. So it's just a matter of getting us all on the same page. Like I said, the Pooh, Blood and Honey guys are in London, and they're always filming. Like they're filming right now, or something like that. If you look at their website, you'll see that a lot of their stuff is in production. But when Blue, Blood, and Honey hitting on February 15th, I really have been trying to, trying to line up with this guy, and it's just been, hectic. So, but yeah, I am wanting to interview independent directors, especially if they're of the genre. So to answer that question, go ahead. Answer. Dave.
Yeah, I'm currently with Enosh. Him and I actually started talking about this months ago. But most likely, I will be also gaining my own Pantheon show as well. I'm going to do horror movie reviews. So that would be, of course, something I'll probably work with William on again too.
Cool. I'm available. All right. So yeah, I'm going to and like I said, and a lot of it, like sometimes I'm working on trying to get bigger directors, and I mean we obviously have decent relationships with a lot of movie companies. Blumhouse, we have a good relationship with Blumhouse. It's just a matter of trying to see people are busy and just trying to get them to recognize, hey, can you come on this little YouTube nobody?
I would love to get Jason on the show. That would be great.
I don't think I'd ever get him, but I would try. I could send emails. I mean, I actually have the emails and stuff. And when we post and do our promos, if you look at our promos, it's actually Blumhouse and Blumhouse Horror liking them. It's a legit site. It's not some guy, a fan site. It's like the legit guy. So they see our promos and they see what we're doing. We have Trauma. We can get a lot of the guys who are doing Trauma films right now. We can get a hold of those guys. Lloyd Kaufman will be out here in a couple months. If we can get everything arranged for him, have him on here. So yeah, wherever a lot of that's going to be wherever the opportunity presents itself, I'll snatch at it, man. But like I said, I get a lot of rejections because you gotta realize that I'm literally a gnat on someone's windshield, and there's like a lot of outlets out there that are way bigger and way ahead of me.
One of the guys that I've heard here lately that doesn't mind doing interviews, and we'd have to reach out to him, but Ty West. The guy who did X and Pearl, he doesn't mind talking to small YouTubers, from what I've heard.
Well, yeah, he was one. William, what is your favorite animated Batman? The Dark Knight.
The Dark Knight stuff. I actually liked my favorite so far. Batman has been Hush, or Long Halloween. I like the Long Halloween.
See, those are good, but I liked the Dark Knight Returns. It was my favorite Batman story, and that was so basically adapted. The other one that would have been my second one would have been The Killing Joke, but they took too many liberties in certain parts of it. If they would have taken those things out and just stuck to the basic story beyond that, and more so than I thought they would do for a cartoon, because obviously if you read The Killing Joke, there's certain things that happen that are not suitable for certain age groups.
Well, that was an R-rated animation.
Yeah, but it was easy. It's animation, and they got it on it's on HBO Max now. And like I said, a lot of those guys, were looking at it. It's a cartoon. How bad can it be? I'm like, dude, they look at the rating. So yeah, it was. So those are my two favorite. But The Dark Knight Returns is gonna be my favorite Batman animation. Dave the Film Junkie visit. Yes, he did. I just showed the picture the other day where Dave Film Junkie he came down here to Vegas for his, I think it was his dad's birthday or his wedding, something like that. And he stopped by the center, and we were having this huge ass fire. And I posted on Twitter, it's like that time Film Junkie came down to Vegas and tried to burn down my adopted hometown. So that's on my Instagram page. All willing, I will be here, 4th. All right, hey William, I saw where the Scary Show uploaded the segment, and yes, he sent me that link today. I have not had a chance to look at it, but he asked me if he could use it, and I said yes, by all means, please use it. He's got more followers than me. You still here? Is this old? I've never been a jerk to you, dude. I've never been a jerk to you. I've never dimed you out. I've never blocked you. It's just I just don't think that we need to take this seriously. That's it. I mean, we can just listen. When you're having the right conversation with the right people, you should be able to sit down at a table and have a conversation. And after that conversation's over, the table's not destroyed, and neither do the two people. If that's not happening, then something's wrong. You can, we can have points of view without you getting angry about it. I mean, we're here to have fun. I'm not here to pick on anybody. All right. What independent comic series deserves an adaptation? Ooh.
There's something
live action one.
There's something Killing the Children should be done. That's an interesting comic book that's been out here lately.
Yeah, by Boom. I'm gonna go ahead and say the Max.
That would be cool
A
too.
live action. Yeah, the
Would
Max
you
for
do
me.
Max live
Oh.
action?
Yeah, that's my answer right there. Would be the Max.
That would be cool. That would be. I think I can handle that. Yeah. Don't worry about it, William. He's just.
I'm not. I'm just. Andrew, if sit back and ask yourself, if you're not having fun, why? Just come on, man. I keep calling you Andrew. I think it's Andrew Casella. I know you've changed it to Jay, but
Casella. Look,
I'm pretty sure it's you. All right, Chappie. I find it annoying hearing people say that Michael. Oh, I did that already. Hold on. All right, did I catch up? Will you watch Avatar 2? It makes $3 billion at the box office. No, I have not seen it yet. Sorry. I know I'm the only person left on earth that hasn't seen it.
And I'm probably William. I haven't seen it either, and I'm probably not going to. It's just not my cup of tea, guys. It's beautiful. I'll get that. It's pretty. It's just not my story, guys.
Yeah. All right, guys. We are at 11:38 Pacific time. So at around 11:50, I'm going to like I said, we're going to
22 minutes to go, everybody. 22 minutes to go.
Yeah. So let me plug in this phone so that it doesn't die while I'm out there. That would suck for me to get out there in the cold and aim it and then realize I'm not even on the air. All right. Woo! And I'm hungry. Getting food tonight is going to be hell.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
It's New Year's Eve. But I'll find something. I'm going to have to resort to Denny's or IHOP, which is like,
dude,
the last thing I want to do.
IHOP is amazing.
Some IHOPs are. Some IHOPs. Not all IHOPs are the same.
Dude, I used to go and do live action role playing for Vampire the Masquerade, and always like we would end at like 2 or 3 in the morning, and always we would retire to the IHOP. So a bunch of us in freaking goth and vampire gear would show up at the IHOP, and it was always the same IHOP.
Yeah.
We did that for like 10 years.
Super chats. Daniel Martin, will you do Q&As with the directors at the side? Yes, definitely.
Oh yeah,
I just have to get a hold of them. Once I get one, I'll definitely, like I said, right now I'm working on Blue Blood and Honey and Guys Jagged Edge. I know you have watched the shows sometimes because I sent you links and stuff to let you know that we're legit. So and I've been going back and forth on them, just trying to get them nailed down. Right now, it's a busy time for them because they're wrapping up one movie and literally about to go into promo for this movie, which is only going to be released to the general public for one day on February 15th, by the way. But I am promoting that movie as well as Cocaine Bear. So it's a good year to be a bear, I guess. A good year to be a homicidal bear or one on cocaine.
Cocaine Bear.
That is so ridiculous, dude. I didn't know they stuffed that bear and put him in a museum. That's so disrespectful.
That poor bear. He just wanted a nose. He just wanted a nose too.
Peter's gonna Peter. You should protest this film, dude.
Hey, did you hear that Waffle House down here, dude? Like this huge brawl started in a Waffle House down here in Texas, like earlier this week.
Wasn't that on video? Didn't somebody catch that on video?
Yeah, it all got caught on video.
Yeah, I think I heard about that. All right, so yeah, we are going to. So let me see if I can do this while I'm on air. Let me see if I can do this without messing this up. Hold on, because I'm going to try this because I don't want to shut down this screen, but I want to do my cell phone screen. So go ahead and talk and distract people while I'm doing this.
So, questions, salutations, anything of interest. Taking requests from the chat. How's everybody enjoying their New Year's? How'd everybody enjoy Christmas? How was Christmas for everybody? Like I said, questions, answers, salutations, hellos, anything from the chat.
And I can still hear you guys too. I'm trying this out and making sure that we can work because I really do want to show you guys these fireworks. Like I said, I'm usually not this close to them. Hold on. Oh, Hold on, I'm going to mute myself.
Oh,
Let's see. Oh, no, I'm there. Cool.
all right. So, Dave, what crossover would I make as a movie? Dude, I would really, really love a really good DC versus Marvel movie. I would actually love to see the Amalgam Comics done as a movie. Those would be fun. The Amalgam Comics was a thing back in the 90s. It was where they crossed DC and Marvel characters. You had characters like you had Darkclaw, who was a cross between Wolverine and Batman. You had Super Soldier, which was Superman and Captain America. You had the JLX instead of the JLA.
Talking about Amalgam?
Yeah, Amalgam, yeah.
That was when they were both DC and Marvel were trying to do what they could to save comics.
Yeah, but dude, it was fun. Okay.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna see if I can switch this around. Right now, so this is a setup I'm gonna use when I go outside. So I'm seeing if it works because, like I said, I screw this up a lot. How do I turn the camera around on StreamYard? Let's see. Here we go.
As for resolutions, I don't really make New Year's resolutions because my life changes so much as it is. So the best, whatever the best comes as it is, you know. What do I want to DCU? I want to see something that brings me back to the DCU. I want them to put out something that brings me back because currently I am not a fan.
And they eliminated the StreamYard's function that makes this so much easier.
Yeah.
It makes it so that you could flip the camera because like right now my camera function. So when we go outside, I'm going to show you. I'll just flip the camera around. It won't be that hard. But for those of y'all who wanted to see some of the Sci-Fi Center, here you go. Here's my one of my pop figure walls.
Ooh, pops.
Yep.
Hey, Larry, you did hear about the Warhammer 40K thing that Henry Cavill's doing now, right? Yeah, he's a huge Warhammer 40K and Games Workshop fan. And he's finally getting to executive produce and do what he wants over there in their partnership with Amazon. So they're working on that. We should have some information on that by May, by the way.
Camera. Let's see. Here we go. Mirror my camera. No, don't want to do that. Camera facing back. Here we go. Both of them. Here we go. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Funko Pops.
All right. Yeah, so we're going on the Funko Pops. I should have probably widened the screen, but you guys can see it. So here's some of my.
I got a question. Do you have any of the Hellraiser Funkos?
No.
Damn, I want all four of them.
Here's one of my favorite one that I love just getting in. I mean, I got four of them. Yep.
It's the Batman Who Laughs.
And you know how I feel about Blade Runner. So here's all the Blade Runner 2049 Pops.
Yeah. Hey, William. Can you still get a hold of those Cenobot ones, the Hellraiser ones?
They're super expensive now.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
I'll have to look at it on my own then.
So picture Merman. Here's Aquaman from 80 years ago.
It's Fish Dude.
Not Aquaman. Submariner. Sorry. Submariner from Wakanda Forever.
Yeah.
Milk Aquaman, and then standard Aquaman riding a parademon.
Namor.
Well, Batman and his Batmobile. Batmobile being the coolest thing on Batman. I mean, I replay that scene so many times. Here's Galactus, and then there's a classic comic book scroll, Super Scroll, and then there's a standard scroll. If you're artistic, and you want to paint your own Yoda, Baby Yoda. There you go. I'd fuck this up, so I don't do it. Classic Wonder Woman. Let's see what else. Oh, Freddie Mercury.
Oh, Freddie Mercury. Cool.
Long live the Queen.
What's the weirdest pop you've got on your shelf?
I don't know. I got Miss Minutes. I don't know. Weird. They're all weird. I mean, The ones that I get, like some of the ones I get, okay, here's the weird. It's not weird as in weird, but weird as in I shouldn't even have this because of what I sell. But when I buy them in bulk, I get shit like this.
Oh.
Yeah. So, and this is one of my favorite pops. This is him with the broken shield and Thor's hammer.
That's cool.
Yeah. See let's go over here. This is the sections I'm working on right now. So here's the Star Trek wall, one of them. Here's all the novels from Star Trek. You can kind of see there.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
You got a lot of old science fiction novels in the store, William?
Yep. Star Trek, not in general, not science fiction in general.
Do you have any? Do you have any of the extended universe Star Wars stuff?
Not anymore. No.
Damn, there's a few I'm looking for.
Here's the Enterprise D cutaway.
Oh, that's cool.
I have a cutaways. Yeah, I have cutaways of all the Enterprises. Here's look at that.
Oh, those are Migos, aren't they?
I think so. And then I have them with the little triple things that somebody gave me.
Oh, are those that sing? I used to have a that sang. If you shook it, it sang.
Cutaway for the Enterprise refit.
Oh,
and then you can see on that wall over there, it's a cutaway from the the original 1701. 1983 model from Wrath of Khan, the Reliant.
Oh, that's cool.
And then here's the Star Trek Wrath of Khan movie poster. And first contract movie posters. And you want something weird? Here's a Pez dispenser for
Oh, there's the next generation Pez dispenser stuff. You know, those two, I might have
all the movies from VHS.
Yeah,
so I got a couple things in
from you when I come to see you, because those are my two favorite Star Trek movies.
Yeah, then the button wall is looking pretty scarce. This button wall holds 600 buttons. I think there's maybe like 300 on there now, so I got to get on the ball as far as that goes. So I'm gonna go ahead and plug this phone back in. There's a life-size Darth Vader. Oh, here's my dragon. Yeah, car from the future. And all kinds of crazy stuff in here. There's my picture with Stanley. It's right there. You can't see that right there. And then there's a dolls that we sell. We get violins and sell them in coffins.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Ooh,
so
there's a Plague Doctor mask. I like that.
Oh yeah, Plague Doctor mask with the skull. I had a couple of those.
That's cool.
What else I got here? Oh, you want a Yoda mug? And then Mandalorian.
Yoda. You see Yoda.
Yeah. This magazine is older than me. This is a 1973 Creepy.
And you got an Eerie down there, Vampirilla. Oh, dude.
Yeah. These are all 40 years old. Most of these are 40 years old, 1980s. Yeah. I'm redoing this section. Is going to be an anime section right here. So I'm just taking a step down. So this whole wall is going away. This is going to be all anime section. So and then I sell the classic $5 posters from the public. And then I got some of those that are even bigger. You want a heavy duty. If you got a heavy duty nerd, this right here is like pretty big. Yeah, it's Nosferatu. It's the same picture, but it's hard. Spider-Man No Way Home.
Oh, dude.
Baby Yoda.
Dude,
these are the Blade Runner concept covers.
I'm gonna have to watch how much money I bring to your shop. Otherwise, I'm gonna decorate a house.
This is making a black label section right here. These are going to be painted black. I'm actually supposed to do this today because black label is its own section. Yeah. And then this is the Spider-Man section. I got to paint it red and white. So last couple of weeks I've been building partitions and walls and stuff, and a lot of stuff is in disarray. And I've been using the holidays to here's a Hulk mask. And this section right here, as you can kind of see, the seen on TV section. It's a mess right now, but what will happen is all these things over here are things that are having to do with movies or connected to movies, because most of the people that come into the center are tourists that have never picked up a comic book. So we want to make collectors out of them. So that's the model. So, okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go back and get out of the settings, and I'm going to go ahead and turn that down. And
hey, Vince, are you still here? Drop a comment, Vince, if you're still here.
all right, so we got 8 minutes. Oh, I thought I missed that. Hold on. All right, am I still echoing? A little bit, but not too bad.
I don't hear you.
All right, so we got about 8 minutes left.
All righty.
And I'm going to go ahead and head out. Am I unmuted? Let's see, audio. Let's go ahead and remove me. All right. All right. In about 3 minutes, I'll go ahead and head outside. And I will actually what I'm going to do, Thane, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Okay.
And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use the restroom and put on my jacket, and then I will come back when you guys see me again. It'll be outside.
All right. Well, here I am left with y'all again. Oh. So, question: is anybody here an Xbox gamer, or are y'all PlayStation gamers? Because that seems what I run into a lot. Anybody drop me a line that's an Xbox gamer? Be really nice for people to play with. Various games, of course. PC. I actually have some PC stuff myself too. Fourth doesn't even game, man. Come on. Whoa, he dropped me off the screen too. None of y'all can hear me. Whee!
Can you still hear me?
Yeah, dropped me.
All right, I'm about to head out. Can you still hear me, Thade?
You dropped me.
Hold on.
There I am. I'm back again.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and set up and we got about 5 minutes. All right. So there's 2 of me. Okay.
Yeah, that's William. I don't have control over those controls, so that's on William, guys. My screen's tiny. Good night, Chappie. You have a good night, man. Happy New Year to you. I'll be right back in a second, guys. Move. Everybody hear me? We can hear William out in the parking lot. A whole new world, exactly, Daniel Martin. A whole new world.
Three minutes, and it's raining.
Oh, that's lovely.
So how do I make? I'm gonna go back, and I still got enough time to get rid of me. I want to get on the big screen. That's where I wish you had controls. It could just move me over.
Right?
Enos is working on it though. Hold on. I got 2 minutes. I got enough time to go in there and change it.
You guys are amazing.
Excuse me. It's a pretty lengthy show too, by the way. So.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I just want to make sure. Hold up. All right. Excuse me. What do we want to do here?
Ah, there we go. Now just make yourself big, William. There you go.
Can you hear me still?
Oh, you dropped me out again. Can you hear me? There we go. Woo-hoo, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir. Look at that. Happy New Year, everybody. Woo-hoo.
Excuse me.
Man, it's busy over there, William.
You can't see from over here.
You definitely hear it, though. Right. Yep. 10 years since Campbell.
I can't see anything over there. I can't see anything on the other side.
Wow.
Among other things, yes. But early on in the year, and I was like, oh, I used to laugh at this. But he still has a lot of interest behind him.
Look at that.
Okay.
It looks like it looks like a
Yep. No more like Yep, time to pay the rent. Pay the rent.
I did that. I did that involuntarily. Yeah, for like, I think I had a feeling of like 2 years out on the road in my addiction. Yeah. Sometimes off. I think I maybe got 6 months. Excuse me. They're probably.
Queen Mom was doing it. The mom, the queen. But she got a walk. Yeah, they gave her a walk. She had to run a family walk.
Okay. Hold on. Because of the wind, I guess they. Can you still hear me, Thade?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Pardon me. Sorry about that, y'all.
Testing. Okay. I guess Thade must be gone.
No, Thade's here.
All right, I'm back on the single cam. Can you guys hear me? Let me know if you can't. But yeah, there you go. Happy New Year, everybody. It is now 12:09. We are now all in. Hold on. All right, now I'm better. Now I can hear myself now. Cool.
Yeah, now we're all.
We are now. Yeah, we are now all in 2023. Congratulations, everybody, for making it here. I wish I could have got you some better angles, but they set up the big one differently because I guess the wind or whatever. So there's a bunch of trees in front of what would have been my prime area. But at least I got you a view of what the stratosphere looks like here. And I didn't expect a whole bunch of people to be out there with me. I mean, I was like shoving people out of the way. But happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year, Thade. Happy New Year, Stella, if you're watching. Happy New Year, everybody. So. And that is it. Let me hit some of these chats. Let's see. How far behind am I?
Oh, about 30.
Okay. Yeah, we can hear Thade, and that's always a great thing. Yeah, like I said, I tried to get it. I thought I was at the best angle, but they usually on that when you saw me running from one side to another, the other side there it's more to the right and it's higher up. But I guess because of the wind, I bet maybe they changed their trajectory because I'm usually able to stand outside of that one balcony and it's right over you. But you guys saw it. I mean, it was an 8 minute long thing that they do every year. It's always cool to have it rung in that way. They put a lot of work into it. The weather's not ice cold chilling right now. It was raining out there too.
Yeah, I noticed that.
It was raining out there for a little bit. So I don't know if that changed anything, but that's generally how we do it here in Vegas, man. They're still going off.
And it's probably going to be partying most of the night there in Vegas.
Yeah. These guys are going to get done till like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. So I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. Do we have anything? You got anything you want to address?
Not off the top of my head, man.
Oh, yeah, that was when the feedback was happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, no problem, Daniel Martin. Like I said, I wish I could have got a better view, but there we are. We got what we got. Will the store be open on Monday? I will be here Monday. I will not be open on Monday. I will be in the area. Shoot me a message
if we're in the area at the same time, I'll try to rendezvous with you. All right. William leaving the Sci-Fi Center for his first time in years later. Nah, yeah. I don't live here. It may seem like it. But yeah, that's about it. Happy New Year to everybody. And I'm going to get out of here. And you got any last words, Thade?
Yeah, no. Happy New Year to everybody. Be safe wherever you're at or wherever you're headed. And we hope to see you more in the new year.
Yes, indeed. And I will. I got a radio interview tomorrow, and I'll do some advertising for that. We're right now. You might see a little bit less of me because I'm in full promotion mode for Project Ripper. I'm going to show you guys some of the behind the scenes stuff of that because it's really cool. Staging 5 murders in your plaza that you own your business in is fun. If you ever get a chance to do it, do it. All right, guys. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us throughout not just New Year's Eve, but this entire 8-9 month journey we've been on since we jumped on YouTube, and it's getting better all the time. And I hope 2023 is at the very least as fulfilling as 2022 was. So with that, see you guys next year. Literally.
Good night, everybody.